when Chris Brockman gave the update to the poll question just last segment, and it was Mahomes, Breeze, Rivers, or Gurley for your MVP choice, you said from the Callaway corner, I don't know about Breeze. What do you mean by that?
And the reason I said it is because the last 2 weeks has been pedestrian for Breeze. And when you're the MVP, it has to be every week. And this young kid is crazy at it. He's been throwing the football extremely well all year long, from week 1 to now. Now, one of my arguments is I think a lot of people should consider Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald, what he's doing from the deep tackle position.
What is he doing? Tell me.
I don't know if he got any sacks this past week, but before that he had 16.5 sacks. Tackles for losses, the quarterback pressures. Those things you normally see from defensive ends. But defensive tackles where they get double teamed on a consistent basis, he is a beast inside, and nobody's even talking about him. You won't see this again. And you'll see it again from him. But on the normally from the inside position, they don't get pressure like that. He's getting double teamed constantly, and he wins. And he's still putting those 330-pound guards and centers right in the lap of quarterbacks. Nobody talks about him. And I know, last time it happened, the only MVP that happened for the league is LT. He had 20.5 sacks. They had a really good defense. So maybe that rush defense, some of the lacking of, they're not tremendously good at stopping the run on a consistent basis.
Right.
That hurts him. But what he's done this year has been amazing.
Rod Woodson here on the Rich Eisen Show. Here's a couple of stats of Mahomes that leaps out about his MVP resume.
Right.
His 243 yards passing last night, fewest total in a game from this year.
243.
243.
That's
okay.
all.
And he has the highest passer rating in the National Football League in losses, 114.6. So it's not like the losses come with him clunking.
Right.
I just was so tough for me to wrap my arms around having somebody that young in his first full season be the MVP.
It's only one.
But it's true.
It's only one game I can remember that he kind of shot his team in the foot, and that was the New England game when he threw the pick going into the end zone.
Then the second half happened.
But the second half happened. But he's a tremendous player. All the things that he does, you cannot put on a tape and go, hey, quarterbacks, I want you to look at this because I want you to play like that.
Right.
No. It's very rare. And a lot of people have said it, and it's so true. He reminds you of Favre. That he'll roll out of the pocket and he'll sling it and throw it any which way that he wants to.
He reminds you of Favre in that regard, too. He had 2 left-handed throws last night.
Yes.
2. He will just make these crazy throws that you don't think anybody else can.
The no-look last week.
The no-look. I mean, exactly.
Crazy.
So there's the Favre. Then there's the rolling out of the pocket, making throws against the grain of the body that you don't expect coming, like Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And then there's the play begins half the time after he gets hit,
right,
of Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes.
It's kind of like all rolled into one millennial body. It's kind of crazy to see right now.
But the thing happens, though, it catches up to all players. It really does.
What do you mean?
So what I mean by that is, think about how many touchdowns Brett Favre's thrown for, but think of how many interceptions he's thrown.
True.
So
he was a leader in
interceptions.
In that. He still is.
He still is.
He was in touchdowns, but that's not anymore.
So, you look at a young kid like this doing so many great things, and he has so much confidence in his arm, and he's throwing the ball in these small windows. If DBs just turn their head, which they don't for some odd reason, the ball's right by your head. It's by your ear hole. You have opportunities. But, one thing I do say, he's exciting to watch. He's fun to watch. Is it sustainable? For this year it is, and he's played well, and I think he is by far the MVP candidate, should win it, because he's played lights out from week 1 all the way through.
And we'll see what happens in Seattle next week. And if he lights it up there, then I think he wraps up the MVP, if not the bye week for the Chiefs. And that could be just 10 days away. We'll see how it all plays out.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.